Indinui maganiduk, miskawawa teanini, indishni kas. Wabshki maingan, do dame, naning nimide, kinebik minis indunji. All my relatives, my name is Miskawawa Teanini. My clan is Wabshki Maingan. I'm 5th degree in the Midewan society. And I come from a place called Kinebik Minis. That's where I was born. So I want to share a few words about Indigenous Day. And so on this Indigenous Day, we should remember that while the Prime Minister says that the Indigenous portfolio is the most important one for his government, we have to remember that the federal government has fought every step forward that Indigenous people have taken, and they continue to do so to this very day. We need to remember also that the Constitution of Canada tells the provinces and territories how they can spend transfer dollars, but there is no mention of funding for First Nations. And that the funding for First Nations persons go to provincial and territorial coffers, but they cannot legally be spent on First Nations or First Nations lands. We need to remember also that Crown land is a legal lie, because the Crown never brought any land to Turtle Island. When First Nations agreed to share the land to the depth of a plow, it was not a free-for-all giveaway of our inheritance. It was only sharing so that our visitors could have life. So it was only sharing, and we have yet to receive our share, because sharing goes both ways. And we must remember today that the anomalies that are being found in the grounds of residential schools, they're being found in the hundreds at each school, and there are many, many schools yet to go. And these anomalies are consistent with burials and with human remains. We have to remember that out of every 100 students who entered a residential school on any given year, 52 of those students would die before the end of the school year. So it was a killing field for our children for the most part of a century. That's a long time, and that's a lot of children. On Indigenous Day, we also have to remember all of the lives that were disrupted by the 60 scoop, and the scoops that continue to go on with all the children in care to this day. We have to remember also that every political party in Canada has as their end game to legally end Indian status and to terminate treaties and the responsibilities that flow from there. So it tells us that we have a long way to go. And yet, at the same time, large strides are being made, and especially here in Seven Oaks School Division. The Seven Oaks School Division powwow is a good example of people coming together to eat, to dance, and to celebrate life. The Ojibwe language program is also a great stride because it's helping us to reclaim our language for our children and for our grandchildren. I also want to commend the work that teachers are doing every day to bring about awareness and understanding of Indigenous history, language, and culture. They're doing this in their classrooms, and they're doing this in the community. I also want to commend all of the elders and knowledge keepers who have carried the teachings, the histories, the languages of their nations. But equally important, I want to commend all the children and youth who are learning from them, because it's a big thing to take your time and use that time to learn from the elders and knowledge keepers. I'm very thankful for that. And lastly, let's celebrate the goodness of the gift of life. We all have so much to be thankful for. Let's do it by celebrating that part together. Miigwech.